Welcome to Science and Technology Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: Peter Nygard denies sexually assaulting one of the complainants in his trial. Investors Chronicle, Bytes Technology, Reckitt Benckiser, SCS. U.S. lawmakers seek to avoid environmental delays to subsidized semiconductor factories. Have sex, please, or work until you're 90. Sleep Country to give Silk and Snow Acquisition its first brick-and-mortar presence. Peter Nygard denies sexually assaulting one of the complainants in his trial. The Globe and Mail. Former fashion mogul Peter Nygard has denied sexually assaulting a woman at his company's Toronto headquarters in the late 1990s. The woman has testified that she woke up to Nygard attempting to penetrate her in his private suite while other people watched. Nygard has testified in his defense, stating that this never occurred. He also denies hiring the woman as a hostess for a late-night party at his building where the alleged assault took place. Nygard, the founder of an international women's clothing company, is facing charges of sexual assault and forcible confinement. Multiple complainants in the trial have alleged that they were lured to Nygard's Toronto headquarters and sexually assaulted. Nygard has testified that he does not recall meeting the complainants or bringing them to his building. He also claims that there were multiple exits from his private suite, making it impossible for someone to be trapped inside. Investors Chronicle, Bytes Technology, Reckitt Benckiser, SCS. Financial Times. IT service provider Bytes Technology is set to benefit from the growing interest in Microsoft's AI software products, according to Arthur Sants in the IC. The company's gross invoiced income rose 38% to £1.08 billion, $1.4 billion, in the last year, with operating profit up 12% to £30.6 million. The growth was helped by two large contract wins from the NHS and HMRC, which both signed up to large Microsoft contracts. Bytes has Microsoft Azure expert status, meaning it should grow in line with Microsoft's cloud growth. Microsoft reported that Azure had grown 29% YoY in the latest quarter, due to growing interest in its AI product. Bytes said it expects its customers to respond positively to Microsoft's 365 Copilot AI product, which is expected to increase into 2024 and beyond. Bytes' stronger than expected results were ahead of broker Numis predictions, with the company's earnings per share expected to rise to 22p by 2026, up 22% from the last year. U.S. lawmakers seek to avoid environmental delays to subsidized semiconductor factories. Reuters. A bipartisan group of nearly 120 U.S. lawmakers has urged Congress to avoid lengthy environmental reviews that could delay the completion of semiconductor factories that receive government subsidies. The lawmakers want to ensure that some projects receiving semiconductor subsidies would not require National Environmental Policy Act reviews. This would include projects already under construction or starting within the next year, projects with 10% or less federal funding, and projects that involve expanding or modernizing existing semiconductor facilities. The lawmakers argue that lengthy environmental reviews could halt or delay the commencement of new projects, which would impact national security, economic growth, competitiveness, and technological leadership. The Commerce Department will require environmental reviews unless Congress acts. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo has expressed the need to streamline the process and make it more efficient and user-friendly, while also ensuring that environmental concerns are taken into account. It is still unclear when the department will announce awards for the semiconductor subsidies. Have sex, please, or work until you're 90. Bloomberg. Hong Kong and Japan are facing significant population decline, prompting the governments to take desperate measures to encourage population growth. Hong Kong plans to offer cash incentives for parents and tax allowances for those seeking assisted reproductive services in order to boost its declining population. Meanwhile, Japan is experiencing a labor shortage as its population ages, with over half of the country's businesses struggling to find enough full-time staff. The country is also facing a potential drop in transportable cargo due to new regulations limiting overtime in the trucking industry. To combat these challenges, both countries may need to relax barriers to immigration, but this would require cultural adjustments in traditionally xenophobic societies. Other countries, such as the Philippines, which is projected to double its population by 2100, could potentially provide a source of immigrants to help sustain economic growth. In the UK, a labour crisis in the construction industry is hindering efforts to build more housing, as the industry's workforce has decreased since 2007 and the remaining workers are aging rapidly. Brexit has also contributed to the labour deficit by reducing the number of workers from the EU. ChatGPT creators create group to get ready for catastrophe. The Independent. OpenAI has formed a new team called Preparedness to address the catastrophic risks posed by artificial intelligence, AI. The team will focus on tracking and protecting against risks including the use of AI in crafting persuasive messages, endangering cybersecurity, and developing nuclear and other weapons. The team will also work towards preventing autonomous replication and adaptation, or the ability for AI to copy and change itself. OpenAI is launching a preparedness challenge to encourage submissions on potential malicious uses of AI, with the possibility of hiring some participants for the team. The team will be led by AI expert Alexander Maidry from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Ukraine develops drone for mine detection, works 4 times faster than a human. Yahoo! The Ukrainian government has developed a drone capable of detecting landmines 4 times faster than humans. The ST-1 drone is equipped with inductive coil sensors and a microcomputer, which allow it to navigate obstacles at low altitudes and transmit data to sappers in real time. Vice Prime Minister Mikhailo Fedorov said the drone would expedite the demining process in Ukraine and improve safety for sappers. The drone is currently being tested by developers. The nightmare of stolen food stamps. Your weekly non-Beltway political stories. Washington Post. The International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, has announced that an international medical team has entered the Gaza Strip, bringing urgently needed aid. The team includes a war surgery team and a weapons contamination specialist. This is the first time in the current war that an international medical team has entered the besieged Palestinian territory. The ICRC has also stated that 6 trucks carrying aid have arrived in the Gaza Strip. The aid will be used to treat the wounded and to provide clean water and sanitation. The ICRC has called on all parties to the conflict to ensure the safety of medical personnel and to facilitate the delivery of aid. That's all for today's news, folks. Before we wrap up, let's take a quick look at what we've covered. First up, we had former fashion mogul Peter Nygard denying sexual assault allegations against him. It's a case that has garnered a lot of attention, with multiple complainants alleging that they were sexually assaulted at Nygard's Toronto headquarters. Nygard, however, claims that these incidents never occurred and that he does not even recall meeting the complainants. It's a he said she said situation, and the trial continues. Moving on to the business world, Bytes Technology, an IT service provider, is poised to benefit from the growing interest in Microsoft's AI software. With the company's strong financial performance and its status as a Microsoft Azure expert, it's well positioned to capitalize on the increasing demand for AI products. In the US, lawmakers are pushing to avoid lengthy environmental reviews for semiconductor factories that receive government subsidies. They argue that these reviews could delay the completion of critical projects, impacting national security and economic growth. While Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo recognizes the need to streamline the process, it remains to be seen when the department will announce awards for the semiconductor subsidies. Shifting gears, we turn our attention to population decline and labor shortages in Hong Kong, Japan, and the UK. These countries are facing unique challenges as their populations age and industries struggle to find enough workers. Relaxing barriers to immigration could be a solution, but it would require cultural adjustments in traditionally xenophobic societies. On the tech front, OpenAI has formed a new team called Preparedness to address the potential risks posed by artificial intelligence. They will focus on mitigating dangers such as the use of AI in crafting persuasive messages, endangering cybersecurity, and developing weapons. It's a proactive step towards ensuring the responsible development and use of AI. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, a drone has been developed to detect landmines, significantly speeding up the demining process and improving safety for sappers. The ST-1 drone's capabilities are impressive, and it's great to see technology being used for such critical tasks. Lastly, we had the International Committee of the Red Cross announcing the entry of an international medical team into the Gaza Strip, providing much-needed aid during the current conflict. It's a small glimmer of hope amidst the ongoing crisis, and we can only hope that all parties involved prioritize the safety of medical personnel and the delivery of aid. That's all from me, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on these stories. What are your ideas? Share them with us. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.